rectory at Immaculate Conception Church. I just made a cappuccino. So welcome those who are on YouTube, as well as those who are on Facebook. Great to join me for breakfast. As I said, I typically will have in the morning a cappuccino and watch TV, or I don't read the paper anymore because we really don't, read the, I don't know, we don't get the paper. I just look on my phone online or on my computer and get my news that way. Great to see my cousin, Charlotte, hi. And Ernesto. Ernesto is a friend of mine. I've never met him. He's from Italy. And buongiorno, Ernesto. Ernesto is a really wonderful guy. He makes a lot of great comments. He's a very serious man in Italy. I like his posts. He and I politically very much agree together. And he's a man of great integrity and great faith. He's a man of a great Christian faith. So Ernesto, I follow you and I watch your posts. I'm not fluent in Italian as I'd like to be, so I'm not as understanding everything you write, because you speak because you speak and write very intellectually in Italy in Italian. So I really don't understand it as much, but I enjoy your posts. So Kim Massey, good morning, and Kathy and Michelle. Lisa, it's wonderful to see you watching and having the opportunity to have coffee together. As I said, it's very sad because we're such social people, and we really like to enjoy each other's company, and we like to be in each other's presence, by having coffee in the morning. And we're not able to do that right now. So it's really unfortunate. So it gives us a great opportunity to, spend time together this way and virtually together. Robin Curlin, it's great to see you, Robin. It's great to know that your son is doing well in the seminary. Salvatore Capalbo. I miss the boys, Robin. You know that they were great servers here, and we had a great time when they were here. I really enjoyed getting to know your family, Angie and David. Great to see you. I see you though. It's great to see you at breakfast though. Stephanie, my cousin, and Kareem. Good to see you, and good you're watching. I decided my hair was getting long, and I decided that I was going to cut my own hair. So it was kind of like very interesting. As you can see, I came a little too close to the scalp. I didn't have one of those razors where it had the attachment that looks like a claw, that could just like go right over the hair. So I decided to just get a comb, and I took the comb, and whatever was sticking out of the comb, I used a razor to shave, and I think I came a little too close to my scalp there, but I won't be doing it on my own once things get up and running. Elena Antonino cuts my hair here in Westerly. She's a tremendous hairstylist, and I think I'll let her do her job when things are up and running, and I won't attempt it at home again. Italians are known for barbers, right? Rome were the first to shave, the Romans, and barber shops in Italy and here in America are very popular among Italians being barbers. So I thought, well, it's in my blood. Let's see what happens. But I could have probably did a better job if I had the right equipment, or if I wasn't doing it on myself, where it was kind of hard to see in the mirror. But anyway, it came out decently, I guess, but it's better than it being long. So I really, enjoy this time that we're able to spend together. As I said, having coffee. Yeah, Arlene likes my Sinatra picture in the background. My family gave that to me a couple of Christmases ago. They all chipped in, and and for my Christmas gift, they gave me that picture. I have it above the sink there where I keep, as you can see, the cappuccino machine there. So yeah, my father, as you know, Arlene, had a very, very strong love for Frank Sinatra and his music. And growing up, as you know, in our household, we always heard Sinatra playing, and early stuff too. When you think of Sinatra, sometimes you think of, the Joe Piscopo imitation of Sinatra when he was older, and he was kind of, didn't care as much anymore and was kind of just saying the words of the songs. And, he was older, people wanted to see him, and it was great. I saw him at the Civic Center in the 80s. But really, though, if you listen to his early stuff and his music with Columbia and Nelson Riddle, his arrangements that he made with Nelson Riddle in the 60s, mid 60s even, really, really tremendous stuff. The 50s and 60s were really, you got to listen to that music and judge him by that music, because he's one of the greatest vocalists probably ever. My father always said that his voice comes only once in 1,000 years. What would someone say? Pasquale said, "Father, you should have finished the job." Well, see, the problem is that what I was doing on top was I was doing like they do, because I watched them in the mirror, and I was just kind of like grabbing my fingers like this and cutting, just what they do. But then I kind of got scared because I wasn't doing that great of a job, so I really didn't finish. But that was a good comment. Jen is watching. Jen's such a tremendous person to my mom. She's so helpful to her and such good friends with her. It's great to see her watching. Father Sirico, my very, very good friend. We had a great time. We were in a religious community together, and this religious community was really beautiful. They had a house on Lake George, and Father Sirico and I took a really nice retreat kind of vacation on Lake George. In that retreat house, they have a little cottage up the river, up the lake, and we went there. And the beautiful chapel dedicated to Isaac Jogues, because he's very important there as one of the North American martyrs. So it was a beautiful chapel. I wasn't a priest then. Father Sirico celebrated Mass, and it was a really beautiful occasion. Actually, you can see Father Sirico because he should be coming. Hopefully, everything will be up and running for July. Father Sirico should be coming in July to celebrate our Lady of Mount Carmel Mass, our big Mass at 11 o'clock before we process the statue for 3 miles in the street. I think this is like the 93rd year. I know it's in the early 90s, 92, 93 years that we've been doing this beautiful retreat, this procession, I should say. And so, Father Sirico, we're looking forward to you, coming. We should be recovered by then. You're right. And, I'll make you a cappuccino. And see, I have the machine. I'll make you a cappuccino. Father Sirico's from New York, so forget about it. He's really cool, and we're excited of him coming. He's a great preacher, great thinker, great writer. The Acton Institute, really important nowadays, the Acton Institute, because of the economic situation we're in. He will contribute a lot in his writings and speeches. Let's see. My cousin, question. Bless you for praying for the unborn child every day. Would you ever consider a special? I can't. Because of this. Here we go. Special prayers mentioned every day. children suffering, child abuse. Yeah, this is the world, especially during the. Yeah, I think I can incorporate that in the prayers of the faithful. Because we should certainly pray for that. No doubt about it. Yeah, that prayer I pray every day after the rosary is a prayer Fulton Sheen taught us. He prayed that, and Fulton Sheen in his talks would talk about the unborn child, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I love you very much. I pray that you help the unborn child that I have spiritually adopted who was in danger of abortion. That, as I said, that prayer was taught to me by a pastor of mine when I was at St. Mark's in Garden City, Cranston. Father Donnelly, really saintly guy. Father Donnelly, he was one of the holiest men I've ever met. He really was. Father Donnelly was no nonsense. His homilies, forget about it. He just said it like it is. Didn't care about political correctness or what people thought, or his message was the gospel. His message was the teaching of the church, and he proclaimed it very loudly. Was such a great servant. I could really picture Jesus embracing him after he died and saying to him, "Yeah, well done, my good and faithful servant." When you hear those words of Jesus in the scripture, "Well done, my good and faithful servant, enter the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world," I think of Father Donnelly. That's who I think of. He was known in Warwick too. I think my cousins from Warwick might have remembered him as well. He was at where was he? St. Clement's maybe in Warwick before it merged. So people from there might know him too. He was originally from Cranston, from St. Paul's Parish, the very beautiful church where there's an excellent pastor there, Father Adam Young. Great guy, a good friend of mine. He's someone I admire, and young priest, does great work in his parish. So it has a beautiful church there too. It's very gorgeous, kind of like Gothic looking, very big. So let's see, what else? Vicky, hi Vicky, good to see you. You should, you sound more like a New Yorker. Yeah, Father Sirico is saying I sound more like a New Yorker than him. Well, that's because you live in the Midwest now. What's going on? You live with, you live far away from New York now. You live in Grand Rapids and near there. So the Midwest, I'm sure, has had an effect on you. And you kind of lost maybe some of your New York kind of swagger, or speech. But it's well, I love Robert, how much I love New York. It's my favorite city. I just can't wait to get back there. Actually, I was supposed to be in Italy too. I figured after Divine Mercy Sunday, I would, take a little trip to Italy and go to Rome and see my friend Don Roberto in Sicily. Or he was going to come up actually to near Naples and from Sicily. We were going to get together. It's sad that these plans have changed, and this beautiful country is going through what our country is going through. So it's very unfortunate. But we'll get back on our feet, and we'll get there together. We'll really we'll get out of this. Now, as I said, we'll be even stronger financially because we won't be relying on China as much. What we'll do is we'll start to realize the importance of what the last few years that we've been talking about is we got to make this stuff here. We have to make our products and our medical supplies, and all of this has to be made in America. It would help Americans stay employed. It will help the growth of our economy. And when something happens like this, we won't be reliant on China to, give us masks and things. The relationship with China altogether has been reevaluated, I think, appropriately. I don't want to get political, but I'm just saying it's great. I think we're gonna, like I said, this is gonna teach us a lot of lessons. And I think generations are going to look back at us and admire the fact that we were able to, do what we did during this time, self-quarantine, have the discipline, not to infect other people where it was going to cause major problems. My cousin is asking a question: are there any websites? For kids, or things for kids to watch. You have children running around the house like little Indians, I'm sure, but good for them because they should. Boys have to do that as part of our upbringing. We have to be a little mischievous. If not, then it's not good. But what I recommend, Stephanie, and I recommend this to anyone, is we have this website that's available. It's called Formed. And you can get information, or I can call you or text you about it. But it's called Formed. And if you go to the website Formed, and then from there you look at you type in, you search for Immaculate Conception Parish Westerly. It's a website called Formed, and when you go on it and you get access to it, if you have trouble, let me know. If you have access to it, you can watch all kinds of things for children. There are lots and lots of programming on this website for children, cartoons and talks for them, priests that deal with children's ministry, where they have different things they do creatively to teach children. So it's called Formed. Go on there, search for Immaculate Conception Church Westerly, and through our parish, you'll be able to have access to this website. And it's something I highly recommend that you do, because it'll really help with children and programming. And then you can just, let the kids watch that. Stephanie and I were supposed to go to dinner before all this happened too. We were gonna go to Silvio's right near her house in Johnston, and to catch up, because I haven't seen her in a while. And plans unfortunately got canceled because of all this. So Stephanie will have to, I haven't forgotten. I look for opportunities anyway to get up north. I'm so far away from my family here in Westerly. In Rhode Island, for those of you who aren't from Rhode Island, 45 minutes or a half hour is a long way for us to drive. So I know I have friends in other parts of the country where their states are so much bigger, and they're like 45 minutes, a half hour. I do that to go to the grocery store. But for Rhode Islanders, anything more than like 20 minutes is a long, long, long drive for us. So I'm considered to be really far away from my family being here in Westerly, because most of my family is from Johnston and North Providence and Cranston. And so I'm kind of far away from them. But the good part of being there's a lot of good things about being in Westerly, but I mean geographically for being in Westerly, the good thing is that I'm near the beach, so that's really nice. I love the beach. I love the summertime, just laying out, in the sun and hearing the waves crash. I don't go in the water as much as I used to. I used to go in the water all the time when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we had a lot of fun. My cousins and I, Bobby and Richard and my father, and we'd go down to the beach, and it was just, we'd have a blast. It would be a lot of fun. We used to like to ride the waves, and if the waves weren't big, it was like a downer. You get to the beach, you're really excited to get there, and for kids, for us at least, when we got to the beach, if the waves weren't big, it's a problem. Actually, once I was in Italy, and I was on a beach near Rome, actually, because Rome isn't too far from the Mediterranean. So I took a bus actually I had to take 2 buses or something to the beach, and so I get to the Mediterranean that day, and incredibly, the waves were huge. And they're not usually that big in Rome, around Rome, or even really around the coast of Italy, because it's the Mediterranean. It's very calm. But the waves were big. So I thought it was great. I jump in the water and I'm like body surfing, and I'm like, really excited about riding these waves into the shore. And all of a sudden, a lifeguard blows his whistle, and waving me in. And I'm thinking, what did I do? I didn't feel like I did anything wrong, or I, was violating any beach, rules or anything by just riding the waves. They would in Rhode Island, they would be considered high, maybe not huge, but on the high end for Rhode Island. So I go into the shore and I'm like coming out of the water and like saying to lifeguard, you got to do this. Like, what's the matter? What's going on? How come I? And he's like, you can't go in there. The waves are too big. We're calling everybody out. And I said, big? I said, these waves aren't that big. I can handle them. No, they like to do this. No, too big. You have to stay out. So lifeguard prevented me from body surfing because he thought the waves were too big. But the Italians aren't used to those kind of huge waves where we are in Rhode Island. So to me, like I said, they were big. They're not scary big, but big. Bigger than we usually have. But, we look for those days on the beach so we can body surf those kind of waves. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that little story with you because we were talking about the beach. Will you continue the breviary with us after the regular schedule resumes? Dun, 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 dun. That's a very, very good question. I've been praying about that, and I think that's a great idea. Something that I will have to take into consideration is right now the rectory is so slow, and we're not meeting, and we're not doing the things that we usually do as priests. Besides pray, we have other, of course, important things we have to do administratively, and meetings with parish councils and parish boards, and house visits, and all these things that have been very, very slow now. So, but I really think it's possible because as priests we have to pray the office anyway, right? And I really didn't pray morning prayer with everyone online because the technology was so strange to me. I didn't really learn it, and I just didn't really do it. So I just figured, I wouldn't do it because, I never even streamed anything live on Facebook. But now that I have a routine down and I know what I'm doing and I feel comfortable with the technology, I think that's a good idea. What I'll do is when regular masses resume, what I'll do is I think I'll go into the sanctuary, into the sacristy, of the church of Immaculate, and I'll pray morning. I could stream morning prayer online. And maybe I can even stream evening prayer. It could be maybe hit or miss. I don't know where I'll be at 5 o'clock, but I could possibly do it. Even if I'm like home or I'm visiting my sister or something, and my sisters or, my mom, and I could stream, live morning prayer wherever I am. I don't necessarily have to be, in the chapel or in the rectory. So it is something to think about. And I think it's a good idea because it's good for you to kind of keep that routine of praying the office. It's a great prayer. Tyler and I are here. Jessica, we miss you. I miss you too. Tyler's my little buddy. Tyler would always come to daily mass. So it was great to see him at daily mass. And I'm remiss in not training him to be a server. We had, we got our schedules were so tight, and then, we couldn't make it at times, but we got to get Tyler up there in the sanctuary. He's such a good little kid. And the other girl, your other two girls are beautiful. So I miss you guys very, very much. Absolutely. Claudio, ciao. My dad loved Fulton Sheen. I didn't know that about my Uncle Ricky. Arlene is just saying that my Uncle Ricky loved Fulton Sheen. I didn't know that because, of course, Fulton Sheen was, gone from television when I was older. So I really didn't, realize that because I wouldn't have seen him watch that. But that's it. That's really interesting. Yeah, Fulton Sheen. A lot of Catholics, especially in America, because we're so outnumbered. We're only 25% of the population. I tell my Italian friends that they're really surprised about that. That America is only 25% Catholic. So when Fulton Sheen was on, Catholics really enjoyed him because they felt that he was, really speaking to them and really had a great sense of the capacity to preach and to teach. A great man, a great priest, a great bishop, and he's on going to be hopefully canonized soon. My cousin Bobby is watching. Bobby, I was just talking about the beach and how much fun we had when we would go on the beach. And if the waves were big, boy, that was great. I don't know. Maybe should I tell them about our little story? When we would go to the beach, when we would go to the beach, we would ride the waves. So if a wave was big, we'd look at it and see if this was the one we want to ride. But then we look over that wave and see if there was a bigger one that was coming, that we would want to wait and let the smaller one pass because a bigger one was behind it. So we'd look at each other and say, oh, next one, the next one. So then everyone became the next one. And then, oh, we got to get to the next one. And then it became a situation where because of the buster I guess I am, is Bobby and Richie would be trying to ride like a wave would come in and they'd see it and it would be big. And I would be like a football blocker, like trying to stop them from riding the wave, and they would be trying to push me out of the way, so they could ride. So it was like a little football game that we had going on. But see, that's the way it was, when we were kids in the 70s. We didn't have electronics, we didn't have computers, and we just made up games, that we had fun doing, like on the beach and you're just riding waves and you make up a game like, okay, let's try to block the other guy from, riding the wave, and the other guy had to be strong enough to which both of my cousins were much stronger than me. They could just go like this, actually flip me out of the way. But I tried, I was always there trying to block them from riding the waves. It was a lot of fun. Charlotte remembers when Father Donnelly was at St. Clement's. Yeah, he was like I said, he was a beautiful guy, great priest, great for me as a young priest to get to know. Because he was very a good teacher and mentor, good mentor. Lights were his big thing. He would say, you're ready to become pastor when you worry about the lights. And he would shut off lights wherever he was in the rectory. Once I was in my office and I'm working, sitting behind my desk, and he came in and peeked, saw me in there, and he said, ooh, the light's on. And he shut the light off. So I said, well, Father, I'm sitting here at my desk. That's why the light is on. I'm in my office. Oh, you have the window behind you. You can open up the drapes. So he was very frugal. God bless him. And you have to be his pastor. I think I admire that about him. I think I have too many lights on here. I have, I shut off that lamp. Well, that's good. I'm conscious about it now because of Father Donnelly. Lisa is watching and thanking me for connecting us with the parish. Thank you, Lisa. I really miss you guys. I miss John and I miss the girls. Hope they're doing well and hanging in there. They're so athletic, so it must be hard for them, to be staying still. Hope they're able to get a little run around the park or do something physical because, they're so much into sports and they do so well at it too. So I hope that they're, really kind of exercising and getting out there and able to do a little something. It's really hard. Paul, hi, Paul is watching. Oh, and Bobby remembers Father Donnelly too. That's right. Yeah, because you were at St. Clement's as well when he would have been there, because he was there a while ago. But yeah, you remember him too. He was a great guy. He was a great guy. He was a good mentor. Vicky, yeah, and your family watched Fulton Sheen too on TV when you were young. Yeah, like I said, I really don't remember it too much. Him being on, I don't remember him at all. Him being on TV. I guess he was on in the '50s, maybe late '50s. I was born in '65, so he was. I don't really remember him being on, but just him, his reputation. And then seeing now, EWTN is running a lot of his Kelly. Hi. Any prayer you recommend for nurses? Yeah, let me post something for nurses. It's really important, as I thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for your message that you sent me recently, and your beautiful family signing it. I miss you guys a lot. Seeing you at Mass, and the boys, I hope they're doing well. I'm sure they are. And thank you for watching now, because I've been thinking about you and praying for you, and hoping that things were well, especially, you're on the front lines there, as a nurse. And, people say to me, oh, Father, you're doing a lot. I'm really, I'm doing as much as I can, but the nurses and doctors, are doing the same in their field. We're all chipping in. My brother priests who are posting things, and Father Zeno doing the cooking show. I missed it, but I could watch it later, because it was on at a time that I wasn't able to watch it. But Father Zeno is such a great cook, and we were together for a year at the rectory, living at the same rectory. He was my pastor. And I don't know, I don't remember cooking a lot when I was there with him, because he liked to cook. So I probably didn't cook as much. I don't think we had a cook either. We had a cook there, a beautiful woman, Connie, and she's still with us, thanks be to God. I saw her recently in Bristol. She's Connie Falco, beautiful, beautiful woman, cared for priests very beautifully. Was one of the best cooks whose ever food I tasted. She just was just a mom and a grandma. She wasn't a chef or anything, but like formally, but she could have been, because she was the best. She was just unbelievable, the way she made a gravy and sauces, and would experiment a lot with things too, which she didn't just have a playbook of like 4 or 5 things she made. She would make all kinds of things. And I think Father Zeno learned a lot from her, because he was with her for a while when he was the assistant there. And he would watch her cook. She was great. But Father Zeno did something with cooking. I really appreciated that, because especially as priests, I hope that my brother priests are eating well, because if you don't cook, it's hard. You don't want to go out to eat all the time. And, the food that, in restaurants is good. And some restaurants it's great, if they use the, great, recipes and things. We have restaurant owners in town here that are excellent. Longos and Hoofs and Vetranos and Casa de Luce. Others in town are just tremendous. So they're good to go to. Good, and you'll get good food there. But as priests especially, we have to learn to cook. And Father Zeno is doing a great service, especially to priests too, who are cooking. So long and short of it, Kelly, I'm going to do that. I'll get a prayer for you. Shirley, great to see you. Hope Father Jay is doing well. I haven't seen Father Jay in a while, especially because we live on different parts of the state, and now, especially. But I'm looking forward to getting together with Father Jay. Father Jay is such a great priest. He has seminarians coming from that parish, and he's been doing Ad Orientem, celebrating Mass Ad Orientem for a while, and the fruits have really been paying off. He really is he celebrates the extraordinary form, in Latin, and he's a really tremendous priest. Joanne, and um, uh, well, you're very welcome, Joanne. And Thomas is watching. Brusadze. Father Donnelly taught us at St. Luke's. Yes, Thomas owns the Supreme Regatta Cheese Company. I always like to tell people that because, I mean, I grew up with Supreme Regatta Cheese on the table. Actually, I did a commercial for Supreme Regatta Cheese. My cousins may remember this, and my friends back then. It was like a local station on Channel 10, and I had to sit at a table. They wanted a kid that looked Italian, so I sat at a table. And actually, in the studio, and actually Thomas's mother made all the things in the studio on the table that they were advertising you could make with regatta cheese, manigot, stuffed shells, lasagna, different desserts you make with regatta cheese. And his mother made all of this food that was on the table that was being filmed. And I had to sit there with a woman who wasn't my mother, but she was an actress playing my mother. And I had to say, you don't have to be Italian to like it. And then I looked up at her and I said, what a good mama. So those are my two lines, my claim to fame. It was Tom's father who got me, on TV to do that. And then the great thing was that Thomas's mother, after she cooked all this, we ate it after the commercial was shot. So we sat in the studio, we had Italian bread, and we're eating the manigot, and we're eating the stuffed shells. It was incredible. And Thomas, you have a great product there. Supreme is the best. I've tried other things, regatta cheese that maybe people had, at their table, or, I even get regatta cheese and I put a little scoop of it with my pasta, because I like to just have it right there with the pasta, and I take a little fork, little bits of it as I'm eating the pasta, and just mix it in with the pasta. So I don't know if you guys do that, but we did that at my house. Who said they remembered it? Carla, you remembered that commercial? Is that what you're saying? I can't believe that. That's incredible. I didn't realize that you that you would remember that. Excuse me. I don't know who. I didn't think anyone remembered that commercial. It was on. It was good, but and it was a great product. But that's interesting. We filmed it downtown Providence, which was the Channel 10 studio. Now it's I think belongs to Johnson and Wales as one of their buildings, but it used to be. I'm making Father Zeno hungry. Yeah, that's the pot calling the kettle black. You're the one who always makes everyone hungry when you show the delicious things you make. But I've been the beneficiary, Father Zeno, of your cooking and hospitality, so I'm not complaining. I hope that I'll always have an invitation at your dinner table, not only for the food but for the fraternity that you always very hospitable and having us priests get together, and certainly telling all the old stories of the war stories for a long time. Sherry, hi, good to see you. Yeah, sounds good. Miri, you're talking about the regatta. Yeah, it's a good idea when you make pasta and meatballs and sausage, put a little scoop of regatta cheese there. It tastes good. We would just have it on the table. My mother would pass it around with the grated cheese. We just pass that around too. Sean, good to see you, buddy. Hope everything's well. My classmate from LaSalle. It's good to follow you on Facebook and to know you're doing well. We see each other in Bristol when I was there. Hope your children are good and everything is going well. Yes, the cannolis. Yes, you make it. That's something else you make great with regatta cheese. Anne-Marie, yeah, you remember the commercial. I had to take. It was easy to get there. I just took a bus. I lived I grew up right near LaSalle, right off Smith Street, where Smith and Academy meet, right on the corner there where LaSalle is. I grew up right across the street from LaSalle, and so it was easy. I just got on the bus right in front of LaSalle. And when I was working for the mayor, I worked before I went into the seminary. I worked for two mayors. I worked for Joe Paolino and Buddy Cianci, and I lived at home after college. I worked there in City Hall, so I just walked up the street to right in front of LaSalle, took the bus. I didn't even have to take my car into work. It was about a 10-minute bus ride into the city. And that's what I did for that commercial. I just took the bus down there. It was great. I loved growing up in Providence. It's a great city. It had a lot to offer, and it's the parishes there are really excellent too. We did talk about it, Carl. I forgot. Must have been a while ago, I hope. Well, thanks, Jen. She's saying I'm a great chef. Thanks. I enjoy cooking. That's why I have to watch Father Zeno with these cooking shows, because I'm not as diverse, as some. Like Father Zeno cooks all kinds of things and experiments. I kind of stay in my comfort zone. I like to make some things and I just the other day though, I made a vodka sauce. I decided to get a little cream, get some vodka, and see how it came out. Okay. It's not as good as I've tasted, but it was my first attempt. So I got to experiment more, especially now. I have the opportunity to experiment. Yeah. Thomas is saying the ricotta gives you protein in the pasta. Yeah, it's true. It's certainly something we need. Yeah, Father Zeno is saying that I got to take the name card home with me when I go to his rectory to eat. I'll do whatever it takes. We would pasta with ricotta when I was a kid too. Yeah, that's interesting. I wondered how many. That's the great thing about Facebook and everything. You can connect with people and find out, is this weird? Or is this something that only your family did? I wondered how many families would put the ricotta cheese right on the table and pass it around and put a scoop in. Because usually you cook it with things, so it's interesting to see who else may have had that tradition or done that, when they were kids. The outlet downtown. Yeah, my grandmother used to take me to Woolworths, to the outlet, because we would, I was home before I went to school. My grandmother lived with me, with us, and my sisters would go off to school. I love that when my sisters I wave out the window, bye, time for school. I'm home alone with grandma. And she would hold my hand, take me up the street to the bus stop in front of LaSalle, and we get on the bus and go down and go to Woolworths and the penny stores where you can get little penny candy, the outlet. It was a lot happening downtown. What I really miss downtown is there was a great chapel there, Franciscans, where you can go to confession, and I really, really miss that. It's too bad that the Franciscans left. They sold the building to Johnson and Wales, and they moved it into a bank or something. And then the Franciscans there, who were assigned there at the time when they moved to the bank, were very, very liberal. And then it just wasn't the same. And then it ended, and then they moved altogether. But it's really sad what happened to that chapel, because they were in a great location downtown. And when I was working for the mayor at the time in City Hall, I used to go there all the time for confession and mass. And it was really, really an awesome resource to have downtown. And unfortunately, it's not there anymore. So it's really unfortunate. Billy, my cousin Billy, good to see you, buddy. We got to get together to smoke cigars soon. I gave them up for Lent, so but I haven't even had one since then, because I wasn't, the weather has been bad, and I don't want to smoke in the house, of course, but I can't wait to get together so we can smoke a cigar again and kind of enjoy each other's company. It's a great thing for guys to do, to go to the cigar lounge and just kind of chat. And obviously we don't inhale. It's, so it's a lot of fun, all these things we reminisce now and we miss, but like I said, we'll get back, together. Arlene's telling me the whole family's here. That's great. Sherry, Chuckstone Avenue. Chuckstone runs parallel to Academy, and in between them, Academy. No, it runs parallel to Smith Street, and in between them is Academy Avenue. So Chuckstone Avenue. I went to middle school on Chuckstone Avenue. After Robert F. Kennedy, I went to Nathaniel Green, which was there. And Ann is watching Calavecchio. We worked in City Hall together. Tanti anni fa, they say in Italian, many, many years ago. But it was fun. It was fun working there, and it was a good experience. And it was certainly interesting. There's no doubt about that. Carla with a K is watching. Can't wait for the school to get back. We have a great preschool. Our teachers are the best, and the school is the best. The facility is the best. I'm really looking forward to that getting up and running again, because it's really awesome, and the kids there are great. I go there almost every day to see the kids. It's really uplifting, to go there and to see the little kids, to pray with them, and to see the little projects they're working on. I can't wait for it to get back. And we have two great teachers. Carla makes me biscotti, and she was wondering if I have any more biscotti left. Where are the biscotti? I have one left, actually, of biscotti that you made. You know what? I don't actually. That's another biscotti. I don't have any more of yours left, because I like yours because they're soft. The biscotti that are hard, some people like them because they dip them in the coffee. But for me, I rather have them soft. So I don't have any more. Just to let you know, I'm not saying that for any reason. I just don't have any more. It's great to have with a cappuccino in the morning, that's for sure. And Esmeralda is watching. That was a beautiful picture. Boon. Yeah, the Westerly people call it, they say boon it. Boon, when they dip their cookie in and I don't know if does anyone else say that, but Westerly, I've never knew that growing up. As an Italian American growing up in like the Greater Providence area, we never said boon, but Westerly people say that. So I'm wondering if maybe it's a Calabrese, derivative of their dialect. I don't know, but if anyone else says boon, let me know, because it's interesting that they say it here. Ezzy, that was a beautiful picture with all your family. That was really great to see everyone, and I've been praying for Eric, and and your whole family. Miss you guys. We had a lot of fun. And when I was in Bristol, it was a great times. Bike riding, it was a lot of fun. Sherry, you went to Rick that way. Yeah, that would. Father Donnelly wanted me to go into the seminary. This is Thomas. But he wanted to be a doctor, but listen to him probably. You're a lawyer, I think, right? So, too bad, though. I think you would have made a very good priest. Certainly, it would have been great for the diocese if you were a priest. You could supply everyone, all the rectories, with regard to cheese. That would have been great. Mary, hi. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everyone's well. We had a lot of fun when I was in Cumberland. It was great days with that youth group and with the kids there, and they were awesome. What a beautiful group of kids. I really admire Catholic families that I met in parishes where they prayed together and they raised their children Catholic, and they brought them to mass, and and you go to their house and visit, and the kids were so respectful, so polite. Yes, father, no father. They would always always say father after they would, addressing children so well. It's been an honor and a pleasure for me to see. Speaking of which, Mary Sue is watching, and see, Mary Sue has a great method for raising her children. That if they get out of line, she smacks them. It works every time. Even though they're like 3 or 4 feet taller than them, she doesn't care. She still smacks them. So, or she threatens to. I've never seen her do that, actually. She just threatens to. I'm kidding, of course. I don't want DCYF to be calling you. It's great. And like I said, I was talking about Catholic families, and there we are. Your kids are so awesome, and it's been great to see them grow up here in the Happy Easter to you. And Thomas grew up in Fox Point. That's great. And Monsignor, hello, Monsignor. Monsignor, I told everyone that you're doing well, and that you're hanging out at home. Haven't been to the rectory in a while, because people have been writing me in their budget envelopes, as they send in their budget envelope and their weekly financial support for the parish. They're sending me notes, and I got a few notes saying, "How's Monsignor doing? We haven't seen him." And so I told everyone at Mass today that you're doing well, and that you're at home, and we're looking forward to seeing you back in the rectory when you're able to come. Looking forward to having Father Monsignor would always have a cappuccino with me in the morning, so I miss having that with you. So my aunt is watching. Hi, Auntie Mary. Looking forward to seeing you when I'm able to. I've been praying for you. We've really been, everyone's been praying. So stay healthy, and you're all in our prayers. We can't wait to be able to see you. Yeah, Monsignor's saying my mom is 91, and we're afraid of the virus. Ho capito, ho capito. I understand completely, which I recommend, that you stay close to home, and, we don't want anyone to, get sick. Certainly. Thank you, Auntie. No, you're great. Auntie, my aunt saying you're great. No, that's why I'm great, actually. If you think I'm great, which I don't think I am, but if you think I am, it's because of growing up in your house and in my other houses of my cousins. That's parents teach their kids how to be close to their relatives, and that we learned that from our family. That to stay close. My father and his sisters and brothers were very, very close. Nothing ever got in the way of them loving each other. They never ever not talk to each other or had grudges. Never. My father and his sisters and brothers, they were close as ever. Nothing could prevent them from talking to each other or from having grudges. It didn't exist, and that taught us, and that's how we are with our cousins and with our family. It's really important. Elena Bean. I hope everything's going well. I got a call. We're gonna have a little conference call so I can see little Oliver. Looking forward to it. He makes my day, that's for sure. Everything, Carla isn't here right now. And I figured, I have I didn't answer the phone because we have a message. And typically, the message has all the things. Typically, a lot of times you're looking for the St. Vincent de Paul, which is very needed. And it can go right to if they press a button, it can go right to St. Vincent de Paul. And I want to thank all of our St. Vincent de Paul workers. You really did a tremendous job in keeping that pantry open. We have our pantry open 3 days a week. And, it's really tremendous how we, those people, take care of the poor and give them food, and they supply a lot for them. So it's been great to keep that pantry open. Joan Gratterall does such a great job organizing it. Our parish has been very, very supportive of the St. Vincent de Paul Society, and contribute a lot to it. Since I've been here, 8-9 years, we've contributed over $200,000 just from our parish to the St. Vincent de Paul Society. Just in our parish, over the last 9 years, over $200,000. So it's a really, really important ministry. Ann is watching. Hi, Ann. Charlene, your daughter, and I went to school together. And what was sad, though, about LaSalle being all boys, I lost touch with all my friends that were girls in the neighborhood when I went to LaSalle. Not to say that I'm happy that they went co-ed. I don't know, I guess, how I feel about that, especially because I'm the last vocation from LaSalle. In 1984, we haven't had a vocation in the Diocese of Providence from LaSalle since 1984. And that's the year after I left, it became a co-ed. But the unfortunate thing about that was I went to school with all my friends who were girls in the neighborhood. And we went to Kennedy together, Green together, and then they went to Classical. And a lot of us in my neighborhood who were boys went to LaSalle. And then that's when we kind of, lost touch with the girls from the neighborhood. So it was kind of unfortunate because we were so close when we were going through school together. And then all my friends that were girls in the neighborhood, I lost touch with. And then going to college, we all went to different colleges. I don't know where Charlene went to college. I went to Rhode Island College, but I'm not sure where she went. Some I saw at Rhode Island College. We caught up, but not many of my friends from the neighborhood went to Rhode Island College. Couple, who were girls. My guy friends did, but not a lot of my friends who were girls. So that's really great. And I hope everything is going well with Charlene and her children. And I follow them on Facebook and I see what's going on with them, because I want to keep in touch with them. I see Sal all the time, and Sal and Charlene and I were very good friends. He was just over for Easter, and we smoke cigars together too. He likes to smoke, so I see Sal a lot, and we talk about the old days, with the kids from the neighborhood, and we had a great neighborhood. It was Providence, and people think because I come from Providence, they think, oh, it was, it's like really a rough neighborhood and everything. It was beautiful. We grew up. Everyone was really close to each other in the street. The houses were very close to each other. And that made for community and being really good friends. And we had a great experience growing up in Providence because you just knew everyone on your street and in your neighborhood. And it was, even though it was a big city for Rhode Island, it's our biggest city and our capital, you grew up in a neighborhood. So even though you're growing up in a big city, you grew up in a neighborhood. So you're really watching, you're really kind of just with your friends and relatives and neighbors in your neighborhood. So really it was just a local experience, even though it was a big city. But the good thing is that you were very close to downtown Providence. So, you could really be there in a matter of minutes, but you still lived in a neighborhood. So it was nice. Is Sal short for salad? No, it's not. Actually, Sal, my friend Sal, a lot of people think that his name is Salvatore, which makes sense because most guys whose name is Sal, their name is Salvatore. But actually, Sal, my friend Sal's full name is Salvine, which is unusual. It's a family name. His grandfather was Salvine. And so I don't know, it might have just been from the little town where they came from, where his family came from in Italy, that used that name Salvine, because there aren't many of them at all. He might even be the only one. I think it's kind of like a made up family name, first name that was used in the family that has been passed down, because it's not Salvatore like most people think. It's Salvine, which is interesting that it's not Salvatore. So well, it's been about just about an hour. Time flew. I mean, I was thinking that, well, maybe 15 minutes, a half hour, and then we wouldn't have much to talk about, and I just say, okay, I'll sign off. But it's been an hour, so that's great. It was great to spend an hour together. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everyone, for watching and for us being together. And hello, everyone, and ciao. Love you all, and great to see all my cousins who have been watching, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Stay positive too. Stay focused and stay positive. We get really worried about, what's going to happen when things open, and how are we going to make out, and is the economy going to come back? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think it's going to come back all the better, and our country is going to be stronger. Things are going to be made in America that really need to be. And I think we're going to have an extremely bright future. So let's not worry about things that don't exist and that we think could happen, because I don't think it will. And all the indications are that it won't either. And we'll be much smarter now about pandemics and about containing things and watching other countries that are not honest with us. And we're going to be a lot stronger than we were going into this. Like anything, like your body, if your body has an immune system developed to fight something off, then, it's stronger. So that our country is like that. Our country now has an immunity that we're developing, that we're smarter now. Like the Italians go like this, we're smarter now. We're going to be watching now a little more closely. These world organizations that are supposed to be, looking out for us and aren't, we're wise to them, so we're going to be a lot smarter, and we're going to be a lot stronger, and a lot closer and bonded together more. Appreciate each other's company more. It's going to be a much different world when we go out into it, but a much better world. So, hey, why don't we end with prayer? Good idea to end our little session that we had with prayer. And it was great to see all of you, and great to have Cappuccino with you. We'll do it again. We'll be in our cafe, our rectory cafe, again. So let's pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, Almighty Father, we thank you for this time that we spent together, having coffee, talking and chatting and encouraging each other, supporting each other. I pray for all those who made comments and all those who are watching, friends that I haven't seen in a while, classmates from school, and parents of friends of mine who have influenced me growing up, and my cousins and my precious cousins, my aunt, and all those who are in need today. We ask for prayers and support for nurses and healthcare providers, for parents who have children that are home and that they're taken care of, and financially that our needs are met, food is on the table. We thank you for all the blessings that you give us throughout our lives. And we ask all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right. You know why usually Italians and Spanish, you know why we kiss our thumb? You may not know why. It's St. Francis of Assisi taught us that. St. Francis of Assisi said, make a cross with your thumb and your index finger. Make sure your hands are washed, by the way. Now we have to worry about that. But as long as your hands are washed, I don't want to have you do something that's going to be a problem with this pandemic. But, if your hands are washed, no problem. But, or no, you don't even have to touch your lips, but just go near them. But when you make the sign of the cross, St. Francis of Assisi said, make a cross with your index finger and your thumb, and then make the sign of the cross, and then kiss the cross after you make the sign of the cross. So it caught on in Italy and in Spanish-speaking countries where St. Francis taught us this. And that's why we do it. Many people don't know that. Why do Italians and Spanish kiss their thumb after they make the sign of the cross? That's the reason. St. Francis of Assisi, a great, great man and great saint. So God bless you, everyone. Cindy, good to see you. God bless you. Can't wait to see you in Mass. Thank you for your beautiful support to our parish and all of my parishioners who have logged in to say hello. Thank you for your support. It really, really means a lot, and it's keeping us going here. And it just touches my heart, to see the support that the parish is getting, and you're part of that, Cindy, and I really appreciate it. Ernesto, bon pomeriggio there, bon riposo. It's kind of later there than it is here. I enjoy your posts, and politically, you and I are very similar. And Italy needs you, Ernesto, because Italy's politics needs men like you. So hang in there and keep the support going. And Jeff Stedman, good to see you. You do such beautiful work there in Bristol. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun together when we were, together there. You're very caring and loving toward families as a funeral director. And that's really important that people experience that. And Jeff Stedman provides that. He provides a very loving, beautiful, compassionate environment when he's dealing with families. It made my job a lot easier that you were doing your job so well. It made my job so much more easier. I know it makes Father Zeno's job so much easier. You're really a tremendous guy. From Westerly. Hey, you're from Westerly. Of course you're a tremendous guy. All right. So Marco, Manfredi, ciao, Giacomo, salute de Acri, ciao, all my friends, mi amici de Acri, ciao, mi amici de Acri, tell Bob Bruno, ciao, de me, salute, and we'll see you next time. I really enjoyed this, Aline, see you, and next time make a couple of cappuccino. Yeah, I know it's hard to get the cappuccino, and put it through the camera. We'll have to do it together when we can get together. So ciao everyone. Ciao. Buongiorno. Buona giornata. Have a blessed day. To you and all your family, my prayers are with you. We'll see you next time for prayer, and we'll do this again. Ciao. Ciao.